Hello, welcome to Amateur Hour 44. You'll notice how creative we are because I changed the A to a 4 in the title as well. A lot of fours this week, gentlemen.
Wow.
Also,
Why? What's going
also,
on?
well, I was going to say the weather is also getting nice, so you might be saying 4 on the golf course.
Yeah, I got tea time tomorrow and a tea time Saturday, and I am heading on a plane Tuesday to Augusta, Georgia to go to the Masters.
I completely forgot
Ooh.
about that. If I was a good host, I would have remembered that and said something to that
Yes.
extent. But are
Ryan
you
and
going to
I
stand
will
on hole
be
4?
at what's that?
Are you going to stand on hole 4?
Oh, we're gonna stand on the whole course.
Okay.
I got to see the whole thing.
Nice.
Plenty of four pars, par
Mhm.
fours.
And we're going on Wednesday, so the par 3 challenge is going on as well. So
Shit.
Ooh, that'd be fun to
yes.
see.
Yeah.
Who's the? This sounds really bad because I like golf, but who's the old guy that still does it? Is it Jack Nicklaus that still does, or his grandson hits for him?
Jack does it, and Gary Player still plays in it. Just the
Okay.
par 3.
Is Tiger old enough to have Charlie play for him?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I
But
wasn't sure how old the legend had to be before they they let their son hit for him.
Tiger does not participate in the par 3 competition though.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
So
well,
hopefully I get to get a glimpse of Tiger Woods in the flesh this coming week.
you better
Yeah,
be
that'll
wearing
be-
some dark colored
be good.
pants.
Yeah. So and we've talked about conspiracy theories. I'm going to have to find out the Augusta National one. Yeah, wear my tinfoil hat. Look for the non-existent animals. There's no birds. There's no squirrels. Nothing. So the conspiracy is that the greenskeepers, if they see a bird or squirrel on the course, they just kill it. But now
Yeah.
they say you can hear birds and stuff when you're there, but you never see them. So they say there's speakers in the trees in the woods making these bird sounds.
Whoa.
Like not to make it a disgusting example, but like you play on a crappy public course. There's bird poop around trees and on the greens, and stuff like that. Not once have you seen it at Augusta, my friend.
No, not they say it like it looks almost fake because it's just so plush.
I mean, around those flowers, usually there's some bees and insects flying around because of the sweet. Never seen one when they have the zoom in on the azaleas or
Not Augusta.
magnolia. Both?
Magnolia, azaleas, they got it all, man.
Okay. They got
Very
Iggy
interesting
azaleas and steel magnolias.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, look
So-
this conspiracy theory up. Sounds pretty interesting, actually.
Look it up. It's a thing. So yeah,
Hmm.
these grippies will be touching Augusta soil here.
Ooh. I mean, that's kind of got to be like a convenience store. Like you have to wear a shirt and shoes. You're out of here there, right? They don't
Oh,
let you
there's a
in there.
strict I don't want to say dress code, but like you don't wear jeans, like
Mhm.
you're out. So it's golf slacks or it's gonna be 80 when we're there. So, golf shorts and a polo.
Do they allow shorts? I know that sounds stupid, but like they
I'm
can kinda
sure
dictate.
I'm sure they do for patrons, not for obviously the players.
Yeah. Okay. Get yourself a pimento cheese. Please tell me how that is.
So me and Ryan and Kevin have been texting about this, and I've already said I'm gonna try as many of the foods on the menu because it's so cheap. $1.50 for a pimento cheese or egg salad sandwich, $6 for a beer,
Mm-hmm.
$1.50 for a Georgia peach ice cream sandwich. Come on, I'm trying it all.
How
Pretty
sad that
crazy.
a $6 beer is the cheap one.
But that's just what it costs. Like you go to NFL game, they're what 18, $19.
Yeah.
So
Insane.
$6 is dirt cheap.
Yeah, that's not
Dave-
bad at all.
Dave, when you went to Kinnick this year, how much was a beer?
The one I got was a tall boy. It was like $9, I think.
That's not
$9?
terrible either.
That's not bad.
$8.50 maybe. I can't remember.
But that's also Iowa living prices too. Compared to Augusta and the prestige of it. Oh, now you got to figure out, is it a tall boy or is it a short stack?
I don't know. I'm looking up their concession. Hold on.
Do you think they're going to have Steel Reserve on the menu?
No, not. I don't think so.
Damn
They
it.
have a domestic beer, import beer, or they have their Crow's Nest beer, which is just a Masters thing.
Well, then you better obviously get one, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have one of
Yeah.
each.
How dare they, with all the animals they kill out at Augusta, have a beer named after an animal that they kill?
That's probably why
Nest
it's so
beer?
cheap. They're feeding you the animals they killed there.
You ready for this to add to the conspiracy? They named it after the last animal they finally killed to get the perfect golf course out there.
Yeah.
$3 for barbecue. I wonder what that.
It's like a pulled pork sandwich.
Huh.
Yeah, club chicken wrap. You can be eating good out there, dude.
Oh yeah. Gotta try as much as I can. Breakfast, I love me some breakfast food. So $1.50 breakfast sandwich. Come on.
Yeah. Can I complain about one thing they don't have out there?
What's that?
I mean, what do you get every time you're going around to the back nine at any golf course?
A glizzy?
Thank you. They don't have a hot dog, a glizzy, whatever you want to call it.
Bryant.
Pinkies up.
Yes.
We don't eat hot dogs at Augusta National.
Indubitably. Yes.
Saying the waste management.
Yeah.
Now, Trent, are you also, since you're probably going to be around fellow like-minded golfers and everyone's going to be hoity-toity, are you going to like talk to them about your Dogecoin and your investments in like Ethereum and shit?
Yeah, just how Doge is just making me rich right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No cell phones. So just take it all in right here.
What I'm going to tell you right now, though, is how many days is it? 3 days you're out there?
Well, we're at the tournament for one.
That one day you're out of the tournament, you're going to go, this was kind of a blessing, not having my phone on me and not having to worry about, other than like, you just use it naturally as your time instead of a watch, you know?
Yep.
Now, do you have a watch to tell time? Oh,
yeah, don't need one.
I'm just going to let the sun dictate it, huh? Like you're living in the wild again.
Just like the original inventors of golf would have.
Yep. It's like just like the first members of Augusta.
Yeah.
One, you're a man, so they're going to allow you in, and then two, didn't have a cell phone on you.
Nope.
Well, Dave, did you want to break out that trivia question, or do we want to get sad about Iowa State here quick?
I'll do a trivia question, and then you guys can get sad all you want and everything.
All right, I'm pumped. Let's hear it.
What similarities does one team have from 41 years ago in the men's tournament?
What team is the same this year?
Yeah, like they've gone through the same thing this year
as they did 41 years ago.
NC State.
Correct.
Really?
What happened 41 years ago?
They then they won the national championship with Jimmy V.
They won the national championship with Jimmy V. But the other similarity is back then they had to win the ACC tournament to get into the big tournament. And then they got awarded the 6th seed that year, not the 11th. And then went all the way through tournament and won it. And during the ACC tournament, they faced Virginia, who had Ralph Sampson, and UNC, who had Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, isn't it crazy that NC State this year, they've faced like 9 or 10 straight elimination games? Like if they lose any of those, like they had to play the whole ACC tournament. If they lost any of them, they weren't making it to the NCAA tournament. So they won them all, and now they're in the NCAA tournament, and they won them all so far. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and another little fun fact is my wife actually has NC State winning the men's tournament in her bracket.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
I've heard of a couple people that they just fell in love with them in that last week to win the ACC, and they just put them in there. And, everyone's just like, okay, sure. Yeah, have fun with that losing. And now they're looking like effing geniuses now.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta admit though that DJ Burns, gotta admit he's fun
I
to
like
watch.
watching him.
Like he's always smiling. He's not having a bad time. Like,
Yeah.
he's out there playing ball, having fun.
Very likable guy. He sorry, you're not gonna like me saying this, but he knocked out Duke. I think he helped America there for a second. It was Duke has to have
I was
some
rooting for
downtime
NC
between
State
Coach
that
K
game.
and now.
I didn't care who won that game. I was just like, you know what? Let them keep going on their roll. So I was rooting for NC State. I can root for the Wolfpack.
It's fine. Shit. He's actually a for real fan.
So
not just a bandwagon from this year. Actually, not even this year. Not a bandwagon from the last 3 weeks.
No. I have a soft spot for him. I mean, Emily Tassler, shout out to her if she ever listens to this. She played for the women's team under KO, and so I've always had a soft spot for them and for a team to root for, men's and women's.
I was telling some coworkers at work, and they didn't believe me, but I was like, "Did you know at one time Prairie Valley had 2 Division I basketball players on their girls team in 1A and couldn't win a playoff game? Do you remember that year?" Who went to North Carolina State, and then oh goodness, I think it was Steph that ended up at Iowa State at the end. It's just like we had a Division I center and guard, and we couldn't win a 1A playoff game. Terrible. Now, it's interesting you brought up the North Carolina stat there, because isn't that you said so they had to go through Virginia for the Final Four win, or was that the championship game?
I can't remember what I read already.
Because the reason I asked because I think I'd heard something similar, because like now it's like, who do they have to face? Zach Edey, the 7'4", center that the All-American that everyone thinks is unstoppable, and here they go. They're about to take them on.
I think it'll be interesting to see how Burns and Edey match up, because Burns gets subbed out quite a bit with that, like Diarra, whatever his name was. They kind of sub out and then they play at the same time, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how they do that. My thoughts on Purdue, because I'm not a big Edey fan at all. He's kind of a big loaf. Like DJ Burns is a big dude, but he has the moves. He has that little fadeaway that looks really good. And if Edey, he's just a big tall loaf that just takes up space really. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
If he can use his size to really box him out, and honestly, you're going to need to rely on Purdue also not hitting the three. That's the only reason they lost to Fairleigh Dickinson last year, is because no threes were falling, and Zach Edey did his thing, but no one else around him was helping. So if they can have an off night by the guards and DJ can either get under his skin or on, I wish I would have thought of this earlier to look it up. I wonder what the most fouls in the game Zach Edey's had this year, because everyone else is fouling him or getting called for fouls nonstop. There's no way he's had more than a game of maybe 3 fouls in a game.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty low.
In the 4 games, so speaking of that, I was looking this up right now because all this dude is just shoot free throws, and the referees don't know how to officiate him on defense because he's so big. He has 8 fouls all tournament.
What's that, 4 games?
4 games so far. He has 8 fouls.
2 per game, pretty much.
He had 1 versus Tennessee, 2 versus Gonzaga, 3 versus Utah State, and 2 versus Grambling.
Oh, he had a 4
versus Minnesota.
Yep.
And then a 4 versus Illinois. But he has multiple games with 0.
Yeah, 4 versus Tennessee.
He had 3 games he went a 3-game stretch without committing a foul. He went from December 16th to January 5th without committing a foul.
Hold on. You want to see a crazier one? From November 28th to which one's the Okay, here we go. Sorry, I lost my space here. From November 28th
Yep.
to January 5th, he committed 3 fouls. Whole month. What a perfect basketball player that does nothing wrong out there, guys.
Yep. Clean defense. So I just noticed this. They've already played Gonzaga and Tennessee this year. They played them twice.
Yeah.
In the Maui Invite.
Which Iowa State will be in next year. Which
That's right.
After this year and the whole controversy with the net and non-conference, I guess that everyone can shut the fuck up next year about who we're playing, because we'll get 3 games of quality opponents at least.
Yeah, you beat this tournament team, Grambling. You beat them, but you beat them by too much. Like you beat them by 50. That's just a little much.
Hey, I'm an Iowa State fan. All I know, I ain't gonna brag about Grambling State. I don't care what we beat them by. That
tournament team. Okay.
It's like bragging about one of those 5-7 bowl teams because the other team like had too many ineligible or rejected the bowl, so they had to go off academic record. Like, congrats, you beat the Rutgers of college basketball there.
Hey, that tournament team. Just saying.
Tournament team still counts. Oh shit! Well, let's get it over with, Trent. Here, we were very high and mighty. Shocker! The big Cyclone homers were excited about Iowa State, and we pooped the bed on national television. We just could not hit layups. We were slow out the gate for the first 15 minutes of the game, and ended up just short of Illinois, 72-69.
Yeah. Iowa State just couldn't score. I mean, they were 11 of 25 on layups and dunks. That right there that was the issue. Now, on the other hand, we were lucky to be as close as we were because Illinois was awful at the free throw line. So, it was so frustrating to watch because Iowa State got down. And then they would climb back, get within 2.
Yep.
And then Illinois would hit 2 threes. It would just, and that's how it was. Okay, down by 8. Okay, chip away. Okay, down by 2 again. Illinois goes and hits a 3.
Put a damn lid on that basket, man. It was so like, I think I bruised a knuckle or something because I was just punching my armchair so much. It's like, how are we like wide open and we're just how do you airball layup? That was the most pathetic thing, and they didn't bring enough attention to. Hassan airballed a layup when no one was in front of him from a foot out.
Yeah,
it's terrible, man.
It was pretty frustrating just for that reason.
They mentioned it. I think a lot of the time they were expecting contact, and Illinois was just like, nah, just get the free 2, and then it threw them off because it's like, I was throwing my weight to anticipate it, and just enough, man.
Yep.
Was the rim regulation height? Is that
the 3-point line was a little closer, like the women's 9 inches closer.
I didn't know if it made his like 11-foot rim to airball a layup. I was just wondering.
You know what the worst thing was? I was just like, there's something wrong with this rim. And then the second half, Illinois started slow. I'm like, I fucking told you there's something with this rim, man. And then they started making it. It was bullshit. That Terrence Shannon played incredibly. I mean, he played incredibly, and he also was gifted some of the most open threes. And it was like, we can't have them backdoor pass it, and we can't give them wide open threes. And what did we do? It was comical, the doubling down, and then all 5 of them turn, and it's like, oh, is that the 6'6" NBA guard right there? Fucking wide open 3-pointers. I've never seen anything more asinine in my life. It was just like, you could have doubled anyone else, and sure, the center gets a easy dunk, that Danger or whatever. And they all just watched the NBA player, the player that has hit everyone for 25 to 40 the last 6 games. Let's leave him wide open.
Yeah, they would double team, and every time they would double team, you're right. Like the pass would go out, and they turn around, wide open, 3 every time.
Yeah, it was. We all knew it was our weakness. Illinois, very well coached, took advantage of it.
Yeah.
I had some very choice words about my feelings about the game on Thursday. I've kind of settled down since then, and at the end of the day, we did not remotely execute well at all.
No.
The one positive I can think of off the top of my head, Robert Jones hit his last 2 free throws as a Cyclone.
Yeah.
Might have been the only time he's ever done it, but he ended
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah, Iowa State would get within 2, and then they'd have the ball to take the lead or tie it. And those possessions were so poorly executed, like the shot selection or
rushing.
It was so, yes.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to jack up a 3 4 seconds into the shot clock.
Get an easy 2. I don't know what happened to the offense that we saw in the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
Considering these are teams that are playing us now the second or third time, and we're able to get a better offensive game flow than versus Illinois is good. No one's denying that, but it's like we didn't see that all tournament, man. Not really versus South Dakota State a lot. Washington State, we just had a hell of a time. We just the whole tournament we didn't get any rhythm, and I would say on the whole, TJ coached a lot better this year. But we disappeared at key moments. And what are the 2 key moments this year, man? The 2, other than the Big 12 tournament, I think that's just a lot of momentum. And again, having a home crowd, I think he can coach well in those moments. But you go to Orlando and it's not a hostile crowd, but it's not a friendly crowd either. We go 1-2. We go to the tournament where we are a favorable 2 seed. If we I don't think we would have been remotely close to beating UConn, but like, this is a game that was very achievable. Illinois was giving us every opportunity in the second half, and we adjusted the doubling down, trapping on defense. But like, I don't know, man. Maybe Illinois just had our number, and they outcoached us on the other end to limit the offense, but we just didn't pick it up just enough.
Yeah, and that was my first thought after the game. I was like, well, at least we don't have to play UConn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Illinois.
I like that Joakim Noah looking dude from your team. He's fun to watch.
Robert Jones.
Rob Jones?
Yeah.
Well, Iowa State just replaced him with a 6'11" super athletic dude, so look out.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like Joakim Noah if that was the deal breaker for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, darn.
6'11", can handle the ball and shoot, and this guy's going to be good.
You know what? The first thing the first thing I told Trent when he texted me about it, I think he broke the news to me. He goes, check out this 6'11" center. He shoots 72% from the free throw line, and he sent me the highlight reel. I go, he shoots 72% from the free throw line? That was the biggest thing I took away from it. 6'11", sure. The guy's going to hit his goddamn free throws all year. I can't believe we're a 2 seed, and we're one of the teams that struggled the most with free throws. We've gone off on that too many times. It's the easiest thing you can do, man. You've done it your whole freaking career.
What was Iowa State's free throw percentage as a team this year? Like 65%?
It was something
just god awful.
No, I think it was close to like 72%, man.
Was it?
Yeah. I'm looking at overall stats. Where we are. Oh, personal fouls. What the hell? Okay. Free throws, 70%.
So this guy's better than the team.
Hey, above the team average, man.
Yes, as a 6'11" center.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through our starters. Oh, Curtis off the bench was 80%.
Best one, yeah.
Jesus. Trey King, 81%. Momchilovic, 81%. Keyshawn, 72%. Taman, 70%. Hassan, 57%. Rob Jones, 51%. Demarion Watson, 57%. We just have, I mean, the most shocking one is Taman. We all knew Rob didn't hit. Taman only hit 70%.
Yeah.
The guy with like the Russian last name, I know you could probably be whatever age and play, but he looks like he's like 30. He looks my age. That
Momchilovic?
He's 18.
He's the youngest guy.
Yeah.
He looks old.
He's a true freshman. He's from Wisconsin.
Okay.
That is. Thank you for bringing him up. Actually, that was the other positive, man. Did you hear his post game?
I didn't.
After the Sweet 16 game, he took a lot of responsibility. Let's admit, deservedly so. He played a god awful game, but he goes, "Hey, my teammates played well around me. I didn't, step up." And it kind of reminded me of Niang when his freshman year, when he, I can't remember which tournament game that was, if that was the Ohio State game or which one, but it's the same mentality of like, "Hey, I didn't do," and you just know the kid's going to get better,
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, TJ does his end of year meetings. We saw 4 people transfer within about 20 hours.
Yep.
Everyone else hasn't. I think he's staying for at least another year because I don't think he's.
Yep.
There was rumors early in the year like, hey, if he keeps with this, I think he was like averaging like 26 points a game at some point, and it was like he might be NBA. He's not there yet.
No,
he had too many games where he disappeared in the Big 12.
Yeah, Chris Williams says that he could be a lottery pick.
I mean, I can see. I guess I don't know how to assess NBA talent. I just know that like, are you really going to go for a guy that? What was his highest probably point total? 26, 30 points this year. A lot of time in the low teens, and then a few zeros, a few clunkers. That seems a little risky.
But I think just his raw talent, I think he's going to take a huge step forward next year.
Yeah, I would think one more year, at least college, and then he's probably gone. Or honestly, if he doesn't improve much, maybe he goes to a different. Maybe he transfers at that point and gets a place where he can kind of stat pad a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys, Dave? How many? Because I was going to talk about transfer portal. How many for Iowa are transferring? Isn't it Tony Perkins?
I saw Perkins and
who's the other one that's transferring?
I can't remember that guy's name now.
I know Sanford is going NBA, right?
Sanford declared for NBA draft, but keeping eligibility.
Yep.
And then Perkins and
it's McCaffrey. That's why.
Yeah, the coach's son, and there's one more I thought I saw too. I thought they had a total of like three transferring and then one doing the draft, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, have they brought anyone in yet? Do you know?
I couldn't tell you.
Fran don't believe in that.
Yeah. Well, he's not even getting his
honestly couldn't tell you. I haven't paid much attention to the men's. I've been watching Caitlin Clark and them, the women.
Revolutionizing the women's game.
Yeah, and making it fun to watch. Because I think we have probably about 2 more years of fun stuff to watch, like overall. Like as the sport in general, if like a lot of these players stay or whatnot, but then I think it's going to kind of go right. No offense, not to sound like a sexist, but then I think women's basketball here about 2 or 3 years is going to be less exciting to watch, probably.
Well, if they continue to get the stars, because Caitlin being a senior and Angel coming back and them having the rematch was their wet dream. That was what they wanted the whole damn time. But that Paige Buchers, that Juju Watson or Watkins for USC, she's a freshman. I just learned. I thought she'd been around for a minute, but she made such a huge impression. So,
and I saw today that Haley Van Lith or whatever from LSU, she's in the transfer portal now. So,
probably coming to Iowa State. She wants to win a national championship next year.
Her and Emily Ryan and Audie.
Yep.
And she could get revenge versus Iowa.
Oh boy!
I'm starting to. Should look good in Cardinal and Gold.
The pieces are coming together.
Have you guys seen the movie Matilda?
Yes.
You see that? The best gif was like Caitlin Clark. It was like Haley Van Lith trying to guard Caitlin Clark, and it was just the gif of the girl getting pulled by her pigtails, getting swung around by the gym teacher.
Miss Trenchpole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you in the chokey.
Yeah. And that was Van Lith the whole damn game, man.
Best part of the whole movie, Brucey has to eat that whole chocolate cake.
I'm sorry, our buddy Jack had a haircut like that in 7th grade, and it just that's all I remember is just his face thinking about that scene, just eating that chocolate cake. Oh, no, hold on. If you don't mind, if we change gears real quick, because Sam was saying he thinks Fran needs to go. Do you think Fran needs to go for Iowa? He's almost your all-time winningest coach.
Yes and no.
No, I
in
need
the
you to
middle of the
commit.
road.
One or the other.
So I'm in the middle of the road. I've been thinking about this for a while, actually. If he has like another like season or two of this, what he had, get him out. But if he can hopefully improve, maybe see what that can do. But maybe a 2 to 3 year maximum, keep him.
Can he coach a team without a son on it?
Probably not.
We're about to find out.
Or a Murray.
Well, I don't think there's any Murrays on there this year.
Yeah, but his son was, but not anymore.
I think you give him at least the one more year. Honestly, let him get the all-time winningest. He's been there long enough. He's kind of earned it. And I think with the new teams coming into the Big Ten, probably be good to at least have a little consistency to see where you gauge, amongst those 4 teams. Yeah. And if he has another stinker, loses in the NIT or doesn't make the NCAA, or honestly, kind of do the Brian Ferentz route. Hey, minimum Sweet 16 or you're out. Like we've done this for 17 years. There's no progress, and you're not a where is he coach Siena before? It's like you're not Siena where you'd be okay with an occasional, tournament appearance. And Iowa isn't perennial basketball power, but you expect to be in there every once in a while and compete and win a few games.
Yeah, I was looking up his tournament. I think it was his tournament record the other day. I thought it was interesting. Like he took Siena, I think it was, to quite a few games. Like went there, pretty good. Like with Siena, made a couple a couple tournaments and did decent. I think in the one, not like Elite 8 or anything. I don't think, but I have horrible memory from reading. But since he's gone to Iowa, though, like the Sam said, like he hasn't made it past the round of 32.
See, I think that's the biggest thing, and I'm trying to pull up his Wikipedia right now. My internet's acting a little slow. I'm pretty sure his entire coaching career, he's never made the Sweet 16 at any school.
Did he didn't make it with. He didn't make it with was it Siena and what was the other school he was at?
He was at Siena, UNC Greensboro, and then Lehigh. And
I thought he took one. I thought one of his teams went, but maybe not.
Siena and Iowa. No, the farthest he's ever made are losses in the round of 32. Well, and I'm not counting NIT. I'm sorry. That's on to it.
No, I just
think
it's if he can't get past that round, that's maybe he's not meant for it, or he gets too angry. One of the two, but
yeah,
he's got to figure it out. Get to the tournament, lose the first weekend, then you can just enjoy the rest of it on TV.
Hey, he wants to enjoy watching his bracket. He likes the little commentary between Charles Barkley, and he likes all those commercials.
He's got his bracket filled out too.
Yeah. Yep, we're gonna win game 1, and then weekend 2, I'm gonna be at home, so we're just going to advance the next team.
So I know they had talked about if Fran retired or they fired him or whatever. What is his name? DeVries, Drake's coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was, people were speculating he was going to be the next Iowa coach. Well,
he went to
now he's at West Virginia, but now you can argue if he's at West Virginia for a couple years and Fran then decides to retire or they fire him, whatever it may be, you got to think that like that West Virginia job, if you were to take the Iowa job from him, that's kind of a step down. I mean, West Virginia under Huggins was a tournament team every year. They went to the Sweet 16 multiple times. I mean, it's a lateral move at best. He wouldn't be stepping up.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see him coach at Iowa of the basketball coaches I know. And outside of that, I don't really know who you'd even outside of DeVries. I don't know who you'd try to like lure to Iowa or say, hey, would you want to coach our men's basketball team and try to turn us around? I'm not familiar with the basketball world and who the coaches are or people with ties or anything like that.
Again, it'd have to be somebody from a small school like Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, Huggy Bear had some great teams at West Virginia that just frustrated the hell out of us. They were great teams, but God, their defense.
We talked about it. It's fun being that team now, being the
I know.
frustrating team.
That's Iowa State now, and I love it.
You're not. I don't think either of you are going to like me saying this, but we're kind of, to an extent, like Iowa football. That's some of the most frustrating games I've ever watched as an Iowa State fan. Is like all defense, and you're kidding me? This little bit of offense is going to be enough, But it's just so frustrating watching. Like you have to be perfect on one side, and that still might not even be enough.
As long as it puts a notch in the W column.
Mm-hmm. Remember, in basketball, it's okay to be all defense. Football, boo. We don't like that. We need some sloppy play on the other side.
Yeah.
Come on. I'll be honest. I apologize for not listening to the DeVries talk there because I was trying to figure out our standings so I could give people a shout out. There is one girl at the top of the ESPN men's bracket that's only picked 6 wrong games the entire way. She has the entire Final Four correct.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking. She had the whole Elite 8 correct, and I think it was one Sweet 16 game wrong. I was mesmerized. It's always incredible. Someone who the fuck picks North Carolina State to make it to the Final Four and then not win? Like, I feel like if you got them to the Final Four, you picked them all the way at that point because you were just in love with that team.
Is this is somebody in our group?
No, I'm sorry. That's just nationwide. God, no, we're not.
I was like, what?
I don't mean to be mean to everyone that participated in our fun bracket, but not a lot of people know ball in ours. I'm pulling it up right now. Well, I guess never mind. We have 2 guys that are 90th percentile.
Yeah.
For the men's bracket, Kevin Light is leading with 770 points, and if UConn wins, he will win. Corey Yeager right behind him, but he can't win because he also has UConn. The only other person that can win, because there's 4 or 5 have UConn, is Kyler Paulson has Purdue winning. He's in 5th place right now, but he can jump a lot of people if Purdue pulls it out.
Yeah, and then there's somebody with UConn winning that cannot win our bracket challenge, which is
Dylan.
Who? Says, oh, never mind. No.
Are you looking at the women's?
I'm looking at the forecast thing here, and it's.
Okay.
Well,
I know at one point I was at like 4th place. I was like, "Wow, I'm doing pretty good." And then UNC lost, and
no.
So
whoever's in second, suck at bracket
Corey.
picking.
Yeah.
He can't win.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just giving him a shout because he's second.
Yeah. So right now, Wonderboy 10's picks is in the driver's seat. Just needs Purdue to win. And then Kevin Light's in second.
And then right now on the women's side, shout out to the future is female. Oh, that's my bracket. It's either going to be me or Joey because it's because I'm in the lead right now, South Carolina, and he's the top place with Iowa. Yeah.
Oh, you guys did a women one? I don't know. Submitted that.
Oh, I thought I sent it to you. I'm like 90% certain. I thought I sent you the female one first.
Oh, well, if you did, I missed it, but I checked that tonight. I'm in the 99.1% on that.
In women's?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be destroying everybody in our group.
I'm ranked 32. I'm ranked 32,000.
God, who do you got winning it all?
Iowa.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's your downfall.
Yeah, I surprised myself today or just right before we got on. I checked it, and I don't know if you can
Who do you have them playing in the championship? I'm assuming South Carolina.
Yep.
Okay.
It's probably going to have that correct too.
I have South Carolina, NC State, and UConn in the Final Four.
If Iowa ends up playing South Carolina, may God have mercy on the soul, man. South Carolina is the UConn is the women's UConn right now. Except the women's UConn is also in the Final Four. You know what I'm getting at about the men's being dominant. I mean, they're 72-1 in their last 73 games. I know the loss was to Iowa. I know, but
you know what's interesting is UConn men, UConn women, NC State men, and NC State women.
It was NC State, UConn, a Big Ten team, and an SEC team for both tournaments.
Yeah.
Look at
now, if my brackets would have been correct, which they should have been, the Iowa State men and women would both be in the Final Four, but whatever.
What did we do? Damn it.
I had them winning both of them.
Yeah. The men's,
I had Iowa versus Iowa State in the women's. Man.
Oh.
That'd have been electric.
Audie would have shut him down.
Could you imagine Twitter if that happened? Oh my God.
If Iowa State lost, I might just delete Twitter because I would never want to read anything on that hellscape again. If we won, I'd love it. I would be reposting.
The week leading up to that game, I would have to just deactivate my Twitter account.
I'd be,
It'd be awful.
At not Hawkeyes. Why don't you go suck shit or something? There's a few burners I actually really enjoy on both sides, and then there's some burners like, gee, get a fucking life, dude.
I follow a couple of the Hawkeye burners because they're funny.
The best one is that Heavens.
Yeah, I follow that one. I like that one.
Yeah, and then during Cyhawk week, any one of them, I just mute them because I'm like, I don't want to tarnish this actual good troll account by them taking it out on me because I know I'll get butthurt about it, you know.
Yeah, and I think like it goes the other way too. Like I think a lot of Hawkeye fans actually like Cyclone Larry.
Yeah,
even though he's
except
the worst.
for he's the absolute worst when we're winning. You know, and it's just the best win because when you're reading his shit, you know.
Does he seriously log off until like football season now?
Yeah, he always does that.
Yeah, like he won't tweet until football season now.
I should do that. Log off and just all the time I spend tweeting and retweeting nowadays, and my brain rotting from reading some of the stupidest shit on there and bots and everything else, you know.
Hey, we like bots on this
yeah.
podcast, okay?
At least 11 of them. We know Sam has been in the chat.
Yeah, there's only 12 people watching. Come on, bots, tell your friends.
I feel bad. We had a couple weeks ago, Dave. We had like 40 bots on here. It was incredible.
I know. I saw that. I was watching.
Yeah,
there were so many bots.
So we had 39 bots.
39.
Well, what was I going to say? Oh, I was just going to talk about the Final Fours here. Do you want to talk men's or women's first? Like, actually, is there any specific games you want to talk over, or you just think UConn's going to win and Iowa's going to win in the women's?
UConn's going to win the men's. It's they're just playing the games for a formality.
I'm sure UConn's going to win. I mean, that's who I have in my men's bracket winning. Well, I filled out 8 men's brackets for fun because I got bored. But
I filled out 1.
But they, I think they'll probably end up winning. But I think it'd be. I always say this with every championship of any sport. I think it'd be cool to see Alabama and NC State play. Alabama and NC State to me are like the surprises of this tournament. I mean, yeah, Alabama's a 4 seed, but I mean, I didn't realize like how good of defense they had. Really, like they really shut down a lot of the teams that they not shut them down, but stifled them and made them like have to think for their shots.
Yeah, I always like to see the underdogs and the upsets. So seeing 11 and a 4 in the national championship game would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think, but it'll probably end up being UConn or somebody, but let's. I want to stay positive and root for the Wolfpack.
I don't blame you. I mean, because it's also like I kind of like UConn right now, just because like, hey, this is kind of, I guess maybe it's a little bit of the Chiefs fan meme where it's like, hey, this is kind of greatness right now. You can see a back-to-back champ in a true like single elimination. There were maybe better teams last year, but they got upset. You know, they had the one-off night, and UConn didn't last year. And now they still haven't this year. So, one thing specifically about UConn, there's his name's Jack Mack on Twitter, but he's trying to get a conspiracy theory going that the NCAA tournament won't adjust their times because they had weather delays on leaving out late. They're still keeping the earlier, they're still keeping the tip-off time the same. Then when they got down to Phoenix, they're all in single beds rather than like queen sizes, and everyone's like calling them out. And then there's pictures of other like players like at the Final Four. They like took pictures of, like the blankets that say shit on it, and they all have queens except for the UConn team. So a little bit of a conspiracy theory. The NCAA doesn't want them to repeat, so they're trying to force anything bad they can.
What kind of hotel only has twin beds?
Especially, and maybe this is on UConn's. I don't know if you want to call them like social team or whoever books this shit. How would you ever book a single bed, like you said, just in general, but for, hey, we're going to have some of the biggest human beings in the country. Let's make sure we have a single bed in here, man, or twin size, you know?
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, what hotel just has twin beds?
Yeah, that's strange.
Oh, we also have the pull-out couch. You can have your 7-foot center.
Yeah, get them on the futon.
I'm just looking at these, man. I think that would be the funnest, having Bama versus North Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to be such a Debbie Downer. I don't see how it's not UConn Purdue. You have Edie, who's just never in foul trouble, and you got UConn that what's the closest margin in a game? 25, 30, 17 versus Northwestern, and 40 versus Stetson. I mean,
17 points is as close as anybody's got to them in the tournament.
Yeah.
It, like I said, it's a formality that they're just playing the games.
That Edie guy though, have you seen the videos of? Did you see the video of like last week's game or one of the games that like he legitimately was in the lane for like 10 seconds and nothing was called on him?
Yeah, I've seen it, and people are trying to say, well, he's stepping 1 foot out, but it's like, yeah,
no, he's not.
Yeah, I don't see it. He's a free throw merchant. I just like to say that, piss off some basketball people, but I don't know.
I think he's just a big loaf, takes up space. I think it'll be a fun matchup to watch him versus the DJ Burns, but Burns has moves. Edie doesn't.
Yeah. Spence is calling him Big Baby too. Big Baby Glenn Davis.
Does he stay in the lane longer, or in that room he unlocked with that chick in that video that surfaced?
Huh? There's so many people that are like, we don't know if it's him. It's like, the guy's 7 foot, he's ducking his head a foot underneath his door frame. I think it's him.
How can anybody say, yeah, we're not real sure?
Yeah.
This could be any 7'4" guy that plays for Purdue. I don't know.
I'm not sure if it was Rashee Rice in that car. It was only leased to him, and it looked like it was him wearing the same clothes from earlier in the day walking out of that car. I don't know. It might not be him. Come on. Oh, yeah. If any team can at least hang with UConn, because again, you know, their toughest game was Northwestern when they were going off offensively. Otherwise, they haven't. Well, Illinois just kind of shit the bed, I guess. But Alabama, I think, if anything, they can get hot enough on the offense to make it a game. I still don't think they win, but it was. For Spence, it actually wasn't Edie; it was the interpreter. The old Shohei Ohtani, the new excuse of the century.
They call that a fall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's it? Chris Carter? Get yourself a fall guy.
How often have we been saying this shit, man? For any pro athlete, like you have all your buddies hanging around, you got to have one of them be the fall guy in that situation. come out and admit it was them, and you pay them off. Trent, if I ever become a pro athlete, will you be my fall guy? I'll be your fall guy if that's the.
Sounds good.
All right, Dave, same thing. If you become a
All right.
professional athlete, okay, good.
Gotta have fall guy.
Look at that easy. It took us 8 seconds to all establish the fall guy for one of us if something happens.
And these guys can't figure it out.
Insane. Any more on the men's side? I'll be honest. I admitted before the pod, but once Iowa State was out, whatever, you know.
Yeah, let's we'll get to the women's here.
Yeah. So one, you see her on the TV all the time, but Caitlin, I think she's 35 points away from the tournament record, right, for most points. I mean,
Yeah.
Add it to the laundry list of records. You know, me and Trent were just being haters a couple weeks ago, Dave. But it also is kind of true. It's like they're like she's made the most 3 points in a season since in any men's Division I since Steph Curry. It's like she has the all-time points record. Who the fuck cares every other record at this point? She's got the one that cements her. Like she's got the most threes in her career. Okay. And what you've already beat the best record. Every record broken after that is kind of doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah, it's been a fun year though. Like, I mean, there's been a lot of hate, which I go ahead and hate whatever. But I did notice from the tournament games I've watched and other regular games I watched during the basketball season that it's one flaw of probably there's many that I'm not noticing, but one flaw that Caitlin Clark has is when the ball goes in the air, she likes to just watch it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that big time LSU. She'll just watch that ball and then stand there and hope somebody, Stolke or whoever, rebounds it and say, "Hey, give me the ball." And I watched a lot of the guard play from LSU and other teams. They just go whoop, right around her, like, "Hey, somebody's going to rebound it, and they might be able to pass it to me." But other than that, I mean, if I knew basketball a little bit more, I'd probably say, yeah, there's a lot more flaws. But the one stuff I know in basketball is boxing out is pretty damn important.
With your amateur eyes, you're catching that.
Yeah. And, it's just it irritates me because when I did play way back in high school, I played post. That was like my job, box out. But I remember our coaches in high school saying, no matter your position, box out. So it's frustrating watching that. But what I thought was really cool is when she was having one of her fits and her dad was in the stands and he could like read his lips like, just shut up or whatever.
Yeah, shut up.
And I was like, finally, that's kind of nice seeing her dad harp on her. But Stolke and Gabby Marshall, and I always lose her name. She comes in a lot for Gabby Marshall, but they all played really well. The whole team kind of plays around Caitlin Clark, but it's kind of fun watching how Caitlin can be like, I'm not doing so well. Let's just pass it. And she does some pretty nice passes, I'll admit. Like some of those wings it down to Stolke or whoever and to get a nice layup or a post move. And
yeah, all their guards that can shoot the three very well.
Yeah. And I don't know what UConn is of these days for women's basketball, but I think it'll be a fun game to watch. And hopefully Iowa wins it. And
they still have Gino Oriyama.
Yeah.
As long as you got Gino there and they've got that Paige Buchers, that's their all-star. I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Now, the one thing that the Iowa girls have really done well this tournament is because you watched them throughout the year, and there are some games where it's like if Caitlin wasn't going off for 40, they weren't winning because no one else was doing anything around her. This tournament, I don't know if they've just tweaked some things where girls are wide open or if they're just finally hitting their shots. But that's been the best Iowa's looked all year. You know, they
Yeah.
lost. Didn't they lose more games in the regular season this year than last year? Or am I imagining that?
I think they lost
4.
I think they
right?
lost 2 more. I think they lost 2 more this year.
Yeah,
33 and 4 this year.
okay, but
I feel like
you know,
last year they were something in 2 or something in 3 last year.
point still stands where it's like they looked worse this year, and we all thought they were a worse team. Caitlin was still amazing, but we thought the team was worse, and her teammates have really stepped up, especially the West Virginia game when they were shutting her down as best as you're going to be able to. They were stepping up and making enough plays. If they keep playing like that, they're going to be just fine. If it turns into if UConn can watch some of that West Virginia tape and create any disruption of flow, because Iowa is a lot more high tempo and let's get some easy twos and layups and everything else. But if you can disrupt them like West Virginia was, even just getting some of the fouls and slowing the game down and limiting the possessions, that's going to be their only shot.
Yeah. I think the thing that I enjoyed, and I'm not saying if you can do this, I mean, every game, but the games that I did see Caitlin Clark have like really huge games, like when she was just nailing threes. You know, most people will get their feet set and then line up their shot, but like she just get her arms set. She just be running and be like, oh, 90-degree angle and throw it up and boom, it's
That
in.
LSU
It's
game
like,
was a good example of that.
yeah, it's just like how do you do that without going like? I mean, that's what happens, I guess, when you're that good. Is like I have confidence in the shot. I'm gonna take it right now, and where it's like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of times she's on the move still when she's shooting.
Well, and
Yeah,
that,
I feel
and
like
that's-
she gets set, but like her momentum is still taking her one way when she throws that up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
well, and it makes it such an impossible shot because are you really going to keep guarding her from the logo every single time? Not really. And then when she gets the right pass, yeah, I mean, she's got her feet set and she's using the momentum, and it's like, Christ, I have to guard her from 35 feet out, or whatever the logo one was, 33. Like,
Yep.
you're forcing a girl to be way out of position because someone can jack up that three and fucking hit it every time.
And I really like Stolke's game as a post player. Like she does what she needs to do properly, sets the screens and rolls to the basket, or just uses her body and gets a shot and sometimes gets the foul on it. So it'd be kind of nice to see how she plays as well, and then see how Gabby Marshall and them and the rest play on against UConn. I'm kind of hoping it's a close one and make it a fun game. Maybe get more than 12.6 million viewers. Maybe get 15 or 16.
Yeah, for that
18.
LSU game.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close. I don't think you can, like I said, I don't think you never break up the national championship game, rematch, the Stars,
Yeah.
Mulkey. I mean, especially with the WAPO story that had just came out, that ended up being she's harder on her players. God, I don't want to hear the Bill Fenley story then. How many people transferred after last year, man, because he was a tough coach? I mean, like,
yeah, it's just it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're going to top the LSU Iowa rematch, but hopefully, maybe more people are like, hey, let's keep watching, and you never know, maybe these next couple games, more and more people end up watching.
Well, and it'll be. I think a lot of people are more like, this isn't the bad product. Like I think everyone can still rightfully make fun of the WNBA. I think that's still a terrible product, but there's always going to be something about amateur sports where I don't want to say like innocence, but there's that like we have the pull because we like Iowa or Duke or Iowa State. You're already going to have that natural pull, and then they have done such a better job at covering it and everything. I mean, I'm going to be watching the women's Final Four as well. If it would have been any other year, I probably would have been like Friday night. Am I going to watch women's basketball? Nah, I think I'll do anything else at this point. Trent, what do you think?
Same, and yeah, any other year, it's like, Friday night. I'm probably not going to watch women's basketball, but I'll catch that tomorrow.
Well, yeah, man. Well, I'll be honest. I think we're losing a little momentum here. Let's kind of call it a wrap here, and we'll have
do
to.
it.
We'll definitely have to break down because we'll have both national championships done by next Thursday or Wednesday.
Mhm.
Are you going to be back from Augusta by then, Trent?
My flight doesn't land till like 9:30 Thursday
If we
night.
do it next week or the following or whenever, we'll break down the national championships here. But yeah, we appreciate everyone that's been joining the chat here and joining us live, and then we'll catch you next week for the recap.
See you
All
next
right.
week.